What's going on, guys? How's it going? So I got an idea here for a video. This video is going to be a little bit of a concept for my channel. I'm going to start trying these videos out a little bit just so I get copyright strikes, because I guarantee you I'm going to get copyright strikes. I'm going to try to make my video my videos from now on, like a little bit maybe more like MLB Network-ish, where I show some like examples with clips instead of me just talking about it and giving you numbers. I want to give you numbers on top of giving you some video proof. Now, I don't know how long this is going to last, because I'm sure it's going to take me a pretty long time to make these videos. I'm willing to do it today because I want to try it out, but it's going to be the first one we do. So Cruz is still on the free agent market, and there's been a lot of talk by Tigers fans, which I really don't get why they feel the need for the Tigers to go out and sign Cruz. Now, I've heard some rumors that from on Twitter and on Facebook that people are saying, people have reported that Cruz would consider taking a one-year offer just to go somewhere and play. Even at a one-year offer, $9-10 million, I don't even want to think about touching Cruz with a 10-foot pole at all. And here's why. Reason number one, he is a god-awful outfielder. I mean, absolutely terrible. I'm going to mosey on over to Fangraphs here for you and give you some numbers. In 2010, Cruz actually had a respectable year with the glove. In 2010, he posted a 10.1 UZR and a 12.8 UZR 150 and actually saved 3 runs. But after that, oh my God, has Cruz dropped off the table. Since 2010, 2011, negative 6.2 UZR, negative 7.9 UZR 150, negative 5 defensive run saves in 2011, and he had the biggest blunder, which you're seeing on the screen right now, of dropping that fly ball in right field and David Freese hitting a game-tying triple. 2012, negative 3.3 UZR 150, negative 3.7 UZR, negative 13 defensive run saves. Negative 13 defensive runs saved. That's like Delman Young bad. And he's just as slow as Delman Young, too. That's another thing. And last year, in 906 innings with his suspension-shortened season, negative 6.5 UZR 150, negative 4.3 UZR, and negative 3 defensive runs saved. My goodness, can this man not field? He is awful. You have this new look team with the Tigers this year. They, Ausmus and company, Dombrowski and company. Look, we're gonna go with a different look team. We got Davis and Dirks in there. I'm going to touch on them in a little bit, too. You got Davis and Dirks. Dirks is a tremendous outfielder. He was one of the best left fielders for a platoon-wise. He was actually a top 3 finalist in the Gold Gloves for left field last year. He's a great outfielder. Davis isn't a great outfielder. He was actually, I think, the 35th worst left fielder in baseball last year. Somewhere in there. I don't remember. It was on Fangraphs. He wasn't that great. And then you look at with that platoon there, it's a bit better option with defensive speed, because you get the speed element with Davis, and you get the glove work with Dirks, and those guys each hit the respective people well. But you're going to throw Cruz out there, who's on a Delman Young level bad of outfielding. I'm sorry. That's just an awful idea. So, reason number one, no, he's just a god-awful outfielder, and I wouldn't want him to see him out patrolling left field every day, because it'd be like watching Delman Young. Reason number two, his home road splits are atrocious. You want to talk about a guy that has made out by simply playing in Texas? Cruz is your dude. Here's Cruz's home road splits in his career. Now, I know he hasn't played in Texas his whole career, but you get a good idea how drastic, he's played there the bulk of his career, you get a good idea how drastic his home road splits are. His away slips, or his splits, is 242, 299, 435 slash line. He posted an OPS of 734. That is atrocious. That's like platoon splits bad. That is awful, playing away from Arlington Park. He has career 65 home runs, 211 RBIs away from Arlington Stadium. You go to his home splits, 294, 356, 556, 912 OPS. That's outstanding. That's great. But the power is up by almost 30 home runs. He has 92 homers and 278 RBIs compared to 65 homers and 211 RBIs. Like I said, you want to talk about a guy whose numbers have been inflated by playing in a hitter-friendly ballpark, it's Cruz. It's 100% not even debatable that playing in that park has really helped inflate his numbers. And I mean, let me check his numbers at Comerica Park here real quick. playing at Comerica Park, he does own a 295, 345, 457 slash in 28 games with 4 homers and 19 RBIs. But looking at that home road splits, that is seeing how bad he's been away from Arlington Park. Because what's the splits between the games here? He's played 399 games away and 405 games at home. So that's a pretty close split, an even amount of at bats and away to home and away. So sorry, his ability to not hit anywhere else but Arlington Park is just another complete turnoff. Thirdly, I was touching on the platoon. What you got there with Dirks and Davis is better than what Cruz is going to give you, and it's more cost effective. You just signed Davis, so you have more speed and a guy that can hit left-handers well to complement Dirks, who has decent speed but hits right-handers at a very good clip. Dirks hit right-handers at a 280 clip in his career. He has got pretty good power off righties. I think he's got like 18 or 19 career home runs. And then Davis has hit left-handers at over a career 300 hit clip. And he stole 40 bags in under 120 games last year. That's a more cost-effective and way better option than going out and then getting Nelson Cruz and dumping his ass in left field. And that's another thing. You get Nelson Cruz, it wouldn't even make any sense. You already got 4 outfielders with Davis, Dirks, Jackson, and Hunter. What the hell are you going to do with Nelson Cruz? What are you going to... You'd have to get rid of Davis or Dirks, and it would be stupid to get rid of Davis because he gives you that element of speed. The new look Tigers are going with more speed on the base pass. And then it would be stupid to get rid of Dirks because he is the better glove of the two out in the outfield. And like I said, he does hit righties well, and he complements Dirks or Davis perfectly, a guy with speed and hits lefties well. Where the hell would you put him? You can't put him at DH because V-Mart's there. Cabrera's obviously going back to first, so Castellanos is at third, and Nelson Cruz is obviously not an infielder. So where the hell are you going to put him? You're going to put him in the stands throwing hot dogs out there and do like softball? You have like a 10th man or 11th man. He's just the rover in the outfield? It doesn't make any sense. So how these people could say, hey, they need to sign Nelson Cruz when you already have the platoon option in left. You have nowhere to put him. On top of he's a terrible outfielder. On top of he's not worth coming off his he's coming off his PED suspension, so you don't know how he's going to do coming off that. On top of his home road splits are god awful. He only hits at Arlington Stadium, and he doesn't have good numbers against anyone really in the AL Central. His splits against AL Central are awful. He's hit barely over 260 against AL Central as a collective whole. I don't see how anyone can find this move plausible. Just because the whole reason why this is brought up is because people are so scared about having Dirks and Davis in left field not providing enough offense to get, to make up for the compensation of Peralta and Infante and Fielder leaving. That's the whole reason why people want to go out and sign Nelson Cruz. But when you get a guy that has Delman Young outfielding abilities, Delman Young speed, I'm sorry, just because he can hit some home runs and he hasn't done it that consistently on the road, or anywhere away from Arlington Stadium, I'm sorry, it's not even worth the risk. Because you have nowhere to put him to begin with. What would you do with, and this is why the argument's null and valid already, what would you do with Rajah Davis and Andy Dirks? Your 2 players you already have set to play left field. What would you do with them with adding Nelson Cruz? Because there's nowhere for him to play. So the argument to get Nelson Cruz is stupid. It's stupid. Awful outfielder, no speed. His on-base percentage is terrible. He strikes out a boatload. His numbers, his average as a whole is 260, 266, 260, 263, 318 in 2010. It's just done nothing but gone down. His on-base percentage is well below league average. What speed he used to have, he actually stole 20 bases one time, has gone down to absolutely nothing. His grounded into double plays has nothing but gone up. His strikeouts rate is about the same at about 23% throughout his entire career, but it's not, he just does not fit in with this new Tigers look. Better speed, more defense. He's going the opposite way. So signing Nelson Cruz is not an option. Like I said, he just does not fit. And for Tiger fans that keep coming back and beating this idea into people's head that they need to sign him, they need to make up for some offense. No, it just doesn't make sense. It's stupid. It's not a good idea. I don't care how cheap it is. When his home run splits are that drastic, when he's as bad as outfielder as he is, when he's as slow as he is, when you don't have anywhere to put him anyways, it doesn't make sense on all fronts. I absolutely love the idea of putting Davis and Dirks in left field over Nelson Cruz any day of the week and twice on Sundays. I don't care if they don't hit as many home runs as Nelson Cruz. Dirks is going to provide you a great glove out there, and Davis is going to provide you good speed. And I think the way they complement one another, the way Davis hits lefties good, the way Dirks hits righties with some decent power, it's going to outweigh signing Nelson Cruz for for even $10 million. I'm sorry. They can keep Delman Young Jr., a guy who could only hit at Arlington Stadium, whose on base has fallen, his speed's gone down, he hit into more double plays in his career last year in less games than he did in his previous year. The most he ever hit into was 12 in 2010 when he played 108 games. So he already hit more in less games than his entire career. So I'm sorry. Speed going down, on base percentage is terrible. Strikes out a lot. Outfielder, slow guy. You have nowhere to put him. Nelson Cruz, the Tigers, not a good idea. So that's all I got to say about that, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you like this new style of videos that I'm doing. I'm going to try to incorporate this more where you got the more clips of plays coming in there. Make it a bit more professional until I get copyright strikes, and I'm going to stop doing this. So, as always, check out the MLB Talk 101. Follow me on Twitter. It's always in the beginning of this video. And have a good one, guys.